Welcome to the GGB Supplier Showcase. I'm Frank Legato, editor of Global Gaming Business Magazine. Today we're featuring Bluberi, and our guest is Mike Brennan, who is the Chief Product Officer at Bluberi. Welcome to the showcase, Mike.
Thanks, Frank.
Today we're talking about both a new cabinet form factor and we're talking about a new game to go with it. The cabinet is known as Beacon Elite, and I'm going to have Mike tell us about it right now.
Yeah, well, Frank, thanks for the opportunity again, and hi, everybody. We're excited because April for us is a big milestone. That's when we are launching Beacon Elite, and for us, that is our first foray into true premium video, which is the most cutthroat, the most competitive product segment we have. We went in here knowing we wanted to get in this segment, and I'll kind of talk to you about why we think we're bullish about our chances, knowing how hard it is. We've really taken our time to try to nail, all aspects of this, the hardware, the merch, and the game itself. So we're calling it the Beacon. The Beacon Elite is the whole shebang. It's the whole package, and we'll be able to see that live in the field, like I said, in April. But what we did with the cabinet itself is we spent a lot of time. We took our time with it. We kind of added up the hours. We're like, man, this is like 400 hours of total research by subject matter experts. We had casino operators, we had players, but we had slot technicians, our own teams, manufacturing, both internal and external, to really kind of take a look at this thing in a couple iterations, and really we made meaningful changes based on their feedback. I think what happens is, we're all racing in this industry, racing towards deadlines. Sometimes we don't have a lot of time to implement what we hear. And every one of those stakeholders had really good feedback that really made the process of putting this thing together, building it, servicing it, and most importantly, probably the player experiencing it to its fullest. So it's fully homegrown design. So we did it ourselves. The team did a fantastic job. We went with a lot of curves. We went with a big focus on lighting. Our current cabinet, which has done great for us, the B49, is more linear. This definitely has a different aesthetic. And I think, we really did a nice job of differentiating. And really, when you look at a cabinet, there's a lot of stuff, the button deck, et cetera, but it really comes down to the screen. And we feel like, I can talk about kind of specs and what have you, but we put together a bright, crisp, high contrast, high resolution screen with really narrow bezel. We tried to get the narrowest bezel you can get, and that's really the area on the outside to try to future-proof it and really make this thing shine for the next 5 or however many years. So that's really the Beacon cabinet itself. And then what we have is we have it immersed in this full package, this is what players you can see here is it has like kind of a goal of creating, kind of call it like an ecosystem of fun. You'll see us lean into this term fun. It's simple, but it resonates. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create, excitement. We're trying to share that excitement with others. And we've done it through first the configuration. So you're going to see 99% of this Beacon Elite in the field in a 4-pack diamond configuration, so that players have comfort and space, but they can see each other's games, so they can see the depth of the content, which we'll talk about later. So if they're not able to experience some of these kind of deep events on their cabinet, they can see it with their neighbors. And so, the configuration is important. And then, we have the overhead sign and the strata that are kind of enough to stand out and create this kind of, somewhat unique presentation. But the biggest thing we did, and what the team did, is we made a conscious decision with the content on the merchandise. So that is the middle dividers and the top. We had some really cool animations and some interesting stuff up there, but we decided to actually pull back, and we're using one sequence, and then everything else that goes on this merchandise is tied to game events. So when one of the 4 players triggers something, whether it's a double rewind, whether it's a pig bonus, whether it's some of these events we talk about with the launch theme, all 3 other players and people walking by are going to be able to experience and see that both in the kind of eye-level divider strata that we talk about and overhead. So win celebrations, maxi jackpots, the little blue evil twins. We're really going to leverage that, so we kind of share the excitement with the sound and the visuals. And that's one thing we've been asked for kind of in the field. It's like, hey, how do I know when someone else is winning? And I think the team did a fantastic job of not just slapping content on the sign, but the sign is an integral part of the full package because it is advertising this kind of ecosystem of fun and this winning excitement events.
So let me get this straight. Beacon has the 49-inch curved monitor, and Beacon Elite has that plus the topper, plus additional merchandising. Is that correct assessment?
Exactly. Yes. And that's what we're going for, is this whole Beacon Elite, full package.
Okay. Now, last year you had certainly the most successful game in your tenure at Bluberi, and one of the most successful games of all time for the company in Devil's Lock. Now, the Beacon Elite is going to serve as the vessel for the follow-up to that game, is it not?
It sure is. Yeah. And that's obviously behind me. And that's what we showed at G2E in 2023. And that is Devil's Lock All In. And really want to congratulate the team that went all in on making this game. It's our TBD studio up in Quebec in Drummondville. And the challenge that they had is, how do you make a sequel? We all have this in the industry. You have a hit game. How do you make a sequel that provides more? How do you make a sequel that goes from, core to premium? And how do you do that without diluting the OG, the original version? And I really think the team did a fantastic job of nailing it, because if you can get that first sequel right, which is difficult, again, because I think you have, adding more, and you take away in order to give this more, you can really miss the mark. But the team did it. And if we can do this, we can nail this, then you've created a really valuable franchise that becomes a little easier. Take a few more risks once you get that first sequel right.
Now, what is different about the sequel than the original? What was added on?
So first of all, what we kept the same, and this is a big one, is we kept the cost to cover the iconic cheeky 66 with the devil the same. And we did that. We actually created, dynamic selectable denom where it actually goes down to 33 credits at higher denoms. And we're kind of accentuating that to try to get, obviously players that want to denom up to play it. And that was the first thing we tried to do, is can we keep the cost of cover same and the math model, kind of the buckets of wins, very, very similar. Also, when you add some more features, you can accidentally create kind of variance and volatility, which is not what we wanted to do with the sequel. And so, the team did a fantastic job of keeping it as it is when it comes to, the kind of the math ride and the cost of cover. However, we have added a ton of other stuff. So the most visible things we added is, hey, we had this devil and we expanded his family. So we have Big Mama and Evil Twins bonuses. And one kind of ambiguous thing is the Big Mama his wife or his mother? So kind of up to players to create their own story there. But we've expanded the family, and the family kind of work together to really reinforce the pillars of the game. And that is kind of create this depth and create an environment where you're never dead. Something can always happen at any time. And so that's kind of what these features are doing.
So you've added mystery features? Have you kept the main bonus the same? Tell me about the main bonus.
Yeah, no, great question. That was important too for us to every time you have a sequel, it's like, well, how does it look, similar enough to the original and have all that, essence, but it looks different enough for people to know it's different. And so for sure, the original bonus is very, very similar to the original Devil's Lock. But this is a deep game, right? In a good way. We kind of variety is the long-term spice of long-term success. And so we've created, as I mentioned, this variety with the same aspect of, hey, you never know when something's going to happen. So some of the things that happened at Devil's Lock, we're doing again. We're representing them. But what the team did is they added in some brand new twists and some kind of rare once-a-day type of events. And again, if it's once a day for one machine, that means if you have a full bank, it's going to happen 4 times a day on the 4 machines, and players are going to hopefully hear and see that. So some of the surprises that we've done, after every spin, you can get these rewind events, which mean, the devil can come last, you can rewind into jackpots, but a regular coin can turn into an evil twin coin. And I've been personally conditioned to the sound that it makes. And, every time I walk by an original Devil's Lock, like I'm listening for that sound. And it's a really cool way these little evil twins come out, and they really turn every coin into jackpots and can multiply them. This kind of when will it end event. We've also added the pig pot fillers. I think this is a neat, innovation. We call these, whether you want to call them fillers, pots, metamorphic, what have you, is like, or faux metamorphic, is you have these pigs up there, and as they're increasing shape and size, there's a chance that one can spit out a mini pig, and then you can actually benefit from not triggering the bonus and getting a respin. So you have a mini pig respin. We also have a unicorn pig that happens pretty rarely and creates this underworld event. That's really just a really neat presentation of the 2X. And then the last thing is the devil himself. That's the center of it all. He can actually do a last laugh. And once you think the spin is over, he can then throw extra coins and trigger the bonus and do other things. So it's probably a game that has the longest time period of when a spin is over, when something can happen. Right. So we're really stretching. You hit spin, the reels land, where, you know, the fun, the excitement, the surprises, the bonuses all can stretch after that. And really kind of, it's all reinforced again with the merchandise all together. We really think we've really embraced this fun term and created this full ecosystem of fun, really headlined. And this is just the launch title. Other games will try to do this, but we really feel like we have a great full package with Beacon Elite, the Devil's Lock all in, you know, reinforcing each other. And we're excited about, hey, this is going to be hard getting into the segment, but we think we've done what we can. We're ready to just kind of let the market and the players decide in April.
Well, it seems you've got a game where the player always has the anticipation that something's going to happen, regardless of the outcome of any given spin. So, you know, that kind of game, you know, it would foster repeat play, in my estimation.
Yeah, we you know, surprise is good. Great design has good surprise, and we hope we've got enough surprise in here. And like I said, that depth where, hey, I played it 3 times, I want to come back and play it 4 more times.
Well, congratulations on the new Devil's Lock All In. I'm sure it's going to end up high in the Eilers report sooner, if not later. And congratulations on all your success. Thanks for being on the showcase today, Mike.
Yeah, no, and thank you, Frank. Thanks everybody for the support, and we hope it does well as well. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the GGB Gaming Supplier Showcase, our exclusive look at the best products and services produced by vendors for the gaming, iGaming, and sports betting industries. For more information about the GGB Supplier Showcase, contact Terry Brady at tbrady@ggbmagazine.com.